You can do it. You can do anything. So cliche, but you can do anything that you set your mind to. You don't have to be subject to circumstances. You can overcome. You can whip your circumstances and beat them. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Life's hard. Everybody's in the middle of something, but you can keep fighting. You can press. You can push. You can do it. Get out there. Get your body moving. Even if it's whatever your circumstances is, like just get moving, get out in the sunshine, get fresh air, communicate with the people around you where you're at, and you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. My name is Andrew Schleiger, but I go by Dre, and I currently am one of the taproom managers for the Crooked Can Brewing Company.
Maybe you know this about me, maybe you don't. Almost 6 years ago, I was involved in a work-related injury, and I fell 18 feet and landed on my behind, and my L2 vertebrae was absolutely destroyed on the inside of my body. I was in the middle of training for a marathon at the time. I was in the middle of a 100-day running streak. I'd run 87 consecutive days in a row, sans break, and was anticipating finishing on my birthday, March 24th, but unfortunately, again, March 7th, I had a fall and ended up being transported to the hospital for an emergency spinal fusion, and then was holed up there for a week, and then was at a rehab hospital for another week in a body cast for, well, I don't know, it's from my collarbones to my pelvis for 6 months. All that to say, we're doing it. I'm finally doing it. Finally running a marathon. And so March 7th, 6 years to the day, I'm finally going to finish that marathon. I'm going to run a marathon in Albany, Georgia. It's the Snickers Marathon, 26.2 miles with a broken, now halfway healed up back.
The accident happened while you were working on the roof of a house. How did you feel after the doctor told you the news after your fall that you may never walk again?
Honestly, at that point, I think I was in shock. I was on a lot of pain medication in the emergency room, and so I didn't maybe have a grasp on the severity of the situation. It was just, okay, like, we're dealing with this. We're dealing with this. Everything's fine. we have to get through this. Like, I'm here. There's no other option. So, I mean, obviously I was scared. I didn't know. But one thing I will say, when I finally met Dr. Mason, who is the on-call neurosurgeon in the emergency room, after chatting with him and kind of going through the options of, like, it's really, really bad. You can try and heal. It probably won't heal. We need to do surgery. It's pretty much emergency surgery. So we're going through all the different options. I'm there with my wife and my mom, maybe some other family members, I don't remember. And I will never forget, I looked at Dr. Mason. He had just got out of doing something, maybe another surgery. He was sipping on a Starbucks coffee. And I looked at him, I was like, "Are you good at your job?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm very good at my job." And like takes a sip of coffee and he's like, "Cool, let's go."
I got it.
Huh?
Hello everybody from beautiful Lafayette, Colorado. I'm currently holed up in the Good Samaritan Medical Center. Every patient, every time. Just wanted to post a video and let you guys know that I'm doing okay. I'm getting bored and feeling obnoxious. I'm in a lot of pain, but it's getting better. Just wanted to thank every single one of you for your love on Facebook and all the voicemails and everything. I truly have some of the greatest friends in the universe. And it's times like these you realize the people that have your back. Yeah, so thank you. Thanks for all your love and support. Please keep praying for us. And that's all.
Going through all that, what was the hardest part of recovery?
Hardest part of recovery, and honestly, it hit me. It hit me because I was in a regular hospital for a week. I was in the ICU initially, and then I got transferred to like a lower level, whatever the lower level is, and then I went to a rehab hospital for another week, learning how to do just kind of like daily tasks and learning how to get up and down the stairs and pick things up and do things like that. But I'll never forget, I got home and I like kind of just sat down onto my stairs and I just broke and I wept and wept and wept, and it was like, I'm not going back to work tomorrow. I'm not going back to work tomorrow. So the hardest part was just like, I want to be better. I want to go back to normal. I want to go back to feeling okay, not being in extreme amounts of pain. That was the hardest part, was like the waiting, like, I should be able to get over this. I should be able to get over this. But it was a really big, serious thing that I had to get through.
Going back to the accident, how long did it take you to start running again after you went through your recovery process?
Getting back to running took a while. Even when I was in rehab, I wanted to see how long I could go, how far I could go. I was at the rehab hospital facility, and my physical therapist was like, we always like to see people see how far they can walk. So it was like, okay, let's see how far we can walk. We went outside. I've always loved being outside. I just want to be outside. And we walked to the Starbucks, which was a mile away.
Oh, God.
I was like, I'm walking, like we're walking. So I'm in like medical gown, like not medical gown, but like scrubs. But I had my running shoes on. I'm in my shell, my TLSO, my big like cast.
Yeah.
And was like, we're doing it. And like I even timed it and put it in my app, like my running app. So that was kind of like step one. And then, I would just walk and walk and walk and walk all the time. Like every day I would try and walk as much as I could just because it helped. And there were a handful of times I tried kind of like trotting, I guess, as I was out, and it just hurt so bad, just all that pressure like on my spine and just having a really weak core. Ugh. But it ended up being about 2 years before I was able to kind of hammer out even like a mile.
Yeah.
So that was hard. It was about 2 years before I was able to get back to running.
Gotta stay pumped, dude. You know what I mean?
You ready? Excited?
I am.
Nervous?
A little bit. I'm already emotional, dude. Like,
yeah.
Just thinking about all of it. Like,
it's gonna be good. What pace are you gonna try and do? Do you know?
Probably like 10:30. It'll take me 10 minutes, 30 seconds to run a mile, is what I'm gonna try and average. Next step is, you know what I mean?
The hair?
Gotta get it out of the way. Gotta get it out of the way. All right. Holy 22 miles.
This is it.
Throughout all the training that you did, you ultimately chose to run the Snickers Marathon. What was behind your decision, or what inspired you to choose that one in particular?
Snickers Marathon, in Albany, Georgia. It was on March 7th, so that was my injury date. So I, again, fell off a roof, destroyed my back, emergency spinal fusion. March 7th was a really, really hard day. And I didn't make it home that day. And March 7th, obviously, is significant for me. And I just wanted to have some type of marker of like overcoming adversity and overcoming trials. So March 7th was the date, and the only marathon that I could find in the Southeast, as I was looking back in October, was the Snickers Marathon. So sweet, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it 6 years to the date of my injury, and we're gonna do it, and we did.
Feeling bad?
I didn't sleep
Oh, you didn't?
at all last night.
No, dude.
I'd like fall asleep for like 10 minutes and then like
You're just too nervous, or?
nervous, and then yeah, I had a dream like for like the last whatever, just like, oh shit, and then I forgot this, and then I forgot this, and then I forgot this, and I forgot this, and like just trying to go, and like, Dre, it's 7 o'clock and you're still at the hotel.
Starting the marathon, I was really nervous. I was actually really, really nervous. It was cold, it was windy, it was kind of crummy conditions. It was cold. It was like 40 degrees at the starting line. I didn't sleep well the night before. I don't even know if I really did sleep. I felt bad. I was like, this is super indulgent. You're a jerk. Like, you drag your family up. Like, everybody's here for you. I was like, you're a jerk. Like, forget it. We're not doing it. I was really, really nervous. I was like, this is stupid. I don't know. I was just having a hard time mentally. So I was actually really, really nervous. But I met my pacer because I ran with a pace group.
Right.
And she was rad. And I met a handful of other people. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I know how to run. I know how to do this. Like, let's see how it goes. I can always quit. But yeah, so I was really nervous when I first started.
Runners, on your marks.
You got this.
That's it.
So, what was the most rewarding part of the whole thing then?
Most rewarding part was, I mean, just doing it. And the people that I met, the people that I ran with, was incredible. Hopefully encouraging other people to like get out there and do it. I think 6 of the people that were in my pace group had never done a marathon together.
wow.
So just like joking around with them and like just having some giggles while we were running, yelling at my pacer, telling her I was tired, telling her I was cold, telling her like just to like be obnoxious and kind of get our minds off of maybe just we have 20 miles to go, we have 18 miles to go, we have 12 miles to go, like, oh my gosh, none of us have ever ran this far before, like we just did it, like good job, good job, good job, we're getting further, like we're 35 minutes away from finishing, we're 15, like that was really rewarding.
They run on court squat or on kick time. Cover the finish line together. We've got Katie Banner, Kelsey McMahon. Over the finish line.
Getting through all that, how did it feel when you finally saw that finish line and you made it across? You saw everyone there waiting for you.
It was wild. It was good. It was really good. It just again like running with Katie was phenomenal. She did such a good job. But we got to because they have mile markers and it was mile 25. She's like, one more mile, guys, and we got to 26, and we were going downhill and turning left, and she's like, all right, that's it. You got it. You guys got it. I'm gonna leave you. She's like, give it all you got. She's like, run faster. I was like, I can't run any faster, Katie. And she's like, you're still talking to me. She's like, run as hard as you can. And like, yeah, the last 0.2 miles was phenomenal. Like seeing you guys, seeing my family, like running with my group, and it was like we did it, like, and being able to just, yeah, it was phenomenal. Like that last little bit was just the emotional high, the physical high.
Yeah.
Felt so good and felt like absolute trash. Like crossing, like, oh my gosh, I just did it. Like the whole, I had envisioned that on so many runs, like to kind of motivate myself to get through it.
Yeah.
And then it was finally happening, and you know, getting the medal and just seeing everybody and like them saying my name. It was really, it was good. All right, so everything is fine. My precious children and my wife made those signs for when I was running, and it was the best ever. First time I saw them, it was amazing. Everything's fine. That was kind of like the motto through recovering, and just, I don't know, a silly way of approaching things. Everything's fine, maybe like apathetic, but always kind of just positive mental attitude on things. But sometimes everything is not fine. It's not okay. I mean, never mind 2020 and the year that was, everything wasn't fine, and everybody had something that they were going through on top of a global pandemic. So there are times when it's not fine. The one thing with the medications that I was on, the painkillers, I obviously needed them because my back hurt real bad, but they're hard on your mind and they're easy to get hooked on. And so I almost disappeared. I almost disappeared into a bottle of pills, got good and hooked on them, and was abusing them a little bit, and went through some really, really dark times. Fortunately, I have people like, hey man, like, can we just talk? Like, I just want to talk and get this out and just talk about it, because exposing kind of like that nasty, that yucky, just bringing it into the light, bringing it to somebody helps so much. So what we're hoping to do with the debut of this documentary is to just raise a little bit more money for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Because I want people to know you can do it, you can just talk about it, you can address it. There's somebody out there that will listen to you. You might not know it, but people like want to know that. They want to hear how you're doing. The world would be just a wreck without you in it. So we're trying to raise a couple more bucks for them. That way, you know, there's always somebody you can talk to. I'm very sympathetic towards suicide prevention. Something very near and dear to my heart. So yeah, everything's fine. Thanks for watching.
You good?
There's just too much down the hatch. Gosh damn it.
I'm sorry.
Back.
That's the problem, I drink too much. Everything's fine.
We're okay.
Yeah. Oh, excuse my manners. Excuse my manners.